Hi, welcome to Hoyt's Points. This video is the first in a series of videos to teach you the absolute basics of hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. There's a lot of ground to cover here, so I'll try to be both as quick and thorough as possible. By the end of the video, you should have enough tools to figure out the rest of the game yourself if you'd like, or you continue watching for stuff that you may miss. This series is intended for people using the Streamlined control scheme. This is the recommended control scheme for Oculus-style controllers, as well as anyone else who has a directional stick and two buttons like the Pico. If you're using a Vive, or would rather use the classic control scheme, you can keep watching, but you'll have to figure out which button is which for yourself. I've also linked a playlist by DVTV in the description that's more suited to classic controls. Because I don't know which controller you're using, I'm going to define which buttons I'm talking about so we're all on the same page. Regardless of what your controller calls it, I'm calling these things the grab buttons, the trigger, and the directional stick. The two buttons that you press with your thumb, I'm calling the top one the B button, and the bottom one the A button. I don't know if these are A or X, whatever for you personally, but I'm going to be calling these the A and B buttons. The first thing you're introduced to in H3VR is the control type selection panel. Since this is a tutorial for Streamlined controls, we're going to select Streamlined and then check the box to get it out of the way. The first thing you're going to have to learn about is the wrist menu. If I take an empty hand and turn it towards myself, I get a menu. This will let me set the way I move, spawn various panels and toolboxes, clean stuff up if you make a mess or need to get rid of stuff for performance reasons, or get back to the main menu, reload your scene, or quit to the desktop. Also, in sandboxes, you can load and save the various things that you put in here. There's lots of ways to get around in H3VR. With your wrist menu, you can set your movement mode to various different movement systems. The default is teleport. If you're not very comfortable in VR as far as motion sickness goes, or vertigo, something like that, I'd suggest sticking to teleport. If you press either stick forward, you'll get a preview of where you're going to land. If you turn your head, that's the way that you'll be facing when you land. Releasing the stick will teleport me to that box. Also, if I press left or right with the directional stick, I'll turn. It doesn't matter which hand you press forward on the stick with, you can teleport with either one, and either one will turn. The next movement mode is twin stick. If you're used to first-person shooters, this will be pretty familiar to you. Your left hand thumbstick will let you strafe around, while your right hand thumbstick turns you. Pressing back on the right hand thumbstick will cause you to jump, and clicking in on the left hand stick will toggle between sprinting and walking. Finally, there's arm swinger movement. By holding forward on the sticks, I'll move forward slowly, but depending on the magnitude of my arm swings while I'm doing that, I will move slowly or quickly. Now, it's the magnitude that matters, not the speed of your arms so much. So if I do lots of little movements, they're not going to move nearly as fast as big, slow movements. Left and right on the stick will turn you an arm swinger, and if you raise both of your hands at the same time, you will jump. All of these movement options can be changed by going to your wrist menu, spawn tools, spawn options panel, movement modes and settings, and then here are all the additional options here. I'll leave exploring this menu to you. You can snap turn, smooth turn, you can adjust the speed at which you move, but that's all personal preference. To grab items in H3VR, simply hold your controller near them and hold your grab button down. Letting go of the grab button will let it drop. all items in H3VR are physics interactable, so I can use this brick to throw that gun to the floor. Now I could reach down and pick up my shotgun, but if something's out of my reach or I don't feel like bending down, I can hold B with either hand to get a laser, point it at something within range, the laser will turn blue, and then holding the grab button will teleport it straight to my hand. If you like the grab style of Half-Life Alyx, go into Input and Controls, and under Gravity Physics Grab, enable that, and now when I have an empty hand, I will get orbs at things I point at. Holding the grab button will turn the orb orange, indicating that I've selected it, and yanking will yank that item to me. Importantly, your controllers are not physics interactable, so I will not be able to punch my Sosig friend here, but if I grab something like a shotgun shell, now I can bop him. Next, I need to introduce the inventory system for H3VR. If I look down, I have a series of orbs in front of me. These are my pockets. Here you can see all my pockets. Note that I have different sized ones and pockets on my shoulders. Now, how do I use these pockets? I can pick up a shotgun shell and drop it in my pocket. Now, that isn't the most useful thing because I don't want one shotgun shell. I want infinite shotgun shells. So what I can do is with an empty hand, hover inside that pocket. You see it turn white, and then pressing the B button with that hand will turn my pocket blue. Now when I pull from that pocket, they will pull infinitely. Now, I could load all of my shells one at a time here into my new shotgun, or what I can do is store multiple shells that will pull a handful whenever I grab from that pocket. By grabbing one, hovering it inside my pocket, and pressing B, it will add to that pocket. Doing this a few more times will give me a full pocket of 6 shotgun shells. Now, if I hold my shotgun, the game will guess how many more will fit in the shotgun, in this case 5, instead of the 6 that it could grab. And now my shotgun's full. Another way to create a full pocket of any kind of bullet, not just shotgun shells, is to grab one, and as long as they're of the same caliber, even if they're different types of bullets, if I hold A with this hand and bring it near the other shells, it will add that to my hand up to the maximum, and then I can drop it all straight into a pocket and spawn lock it and pull, and it'll all come out in the same order every time. Well, that should give you all the tools you need to get started in H3VR. In the next episode, I'll be talking about attachments to weapons and magazines. And then, after that, maybe I'll even shoot a weapon in a tedious, horrible video where I go through every single weapon type and load and shoot them. If not, I hope you have a great time in H3VR. Have a nice day.